Hey, I want to talk to you about the Nibble Theory. Now, there's an actual book called the Nibble Theory. I've read it. I, I don't know if the idea that I'm going to share with you today is from that book or if I've just associated the title with what I think of and what I see happening sometimes in my clients' lives that I attribute to the Nibble Theory. It may also be something like the cutting the cheese theory. And I know that that can be smelly sometimes, and I hope you get the sense of humor. And as we get into this a little further, what it is that I'm referring to and how I'm thinking about this. But the nibble theory is where it could be a coworker, it could be life partner, it could be whoever it is that you're dating right now. It could be a brother or sister or all of them together versus you. It could be workmates. It might be somebody that you share office with. But the nibble theory is that this other person or these other people take just a little bit of you or something of you, or some space that is also yours, or that there's a territory or an area that you have in common. And they just kind of come along and nibble just a little bit of it. Not enough to, it may be annoying, but it's not enough to like, let's have a big fight about it. You just sort of tolerate it. And then there's another little nibble, like a little tiny mouse. It just sort of takes like it's a little bite. And in fact, it's so slight you're not even sure you can see the teeth marks. But you know that it's something's different. Or with the cutting of the cheese, except for the smell, the slice is so thin that in that block of cheese you don't really miss the little piece that got nicked off. And then happens again. You kind of something's in the air. But you go look, and the block of cheese is still there. So you tolerate it. You don't pay any attention to it. It's it's like, yeah, we share this desk, and every time I sit down on it, I've got to wipe the coffee ring off. Or I notice that you probably had lunch here, and there's stuff on the seat or on the floor or whatever. Not enough that I have to take the vacuum out, but it's irritating. Or you have some young kids. This is a story from one of my clients. She has 3 young, very active boys. And she said, it isn't, when they're home, like on the weekend, it doesn't take very long before the living room has more toys on the floor than the carpet. I mean, it's just like a sea of toys. And they don't always pick them all up. So later in the evening, when she's walking around, she'll step on something with her bare feet. It's like, it's this terrible pain. Is it enough to go wake the kids up and, hey, I told you to clean up the thing and you didn't clean it up? And no, probably not. But it's enough to cause just a little bit of irritation. And we tolerate it. Or one of my other clients whose daughter is not very neat. And her brother, fine, not a problem. He even puts his clothes away. Mom washes all the clothes, brings them, puts them on the bed. Son puts them away. Daughter pushes them over to the side of the bed so she can crawl in and sleep. And they will sit there for long periods of time sometimes. And then sometimes the mound gets bigger and they fall onto the floor. And then she notices a little bit later that there's a pair of socks out in the living room or in the dining room, a pair of shoes, and then another pair of shoes. She just sort of encroaches in the common space of the family for herself. And unlike the woman with the 3 young boys, where you have to kind of direct them and actually give them some instructions of what to do, in this case, that isn't what's happening. It's just a mess. It's an irritation. We call that the nibble theory. It's just a little bit nibble, 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 and then pretty soon it's like giant mouthfuls of your space, your whatever that you're willing and tolerating up to this point. And then by the time you say no, or you put your foot down, or you say enough is enough, the people who have been doing it look at you like, what's your problem? Why are you acting like this? Why are you saying that? It's never bothered you before. And you see, there's the problem. You found the issue. You didn't say anything before. You didn't say anything when it first happened. You didn't say anything at the beginning. You just kind of put up with it. You wanted to be a nice guy, or a kind person, or a wonderful woman, or a good friend. And so we tolerate these little nibbles without saying anything. It's good if you can identify it right away. In fact, it happened this morning between my wife and I, and we were talking, and I was saying, well, I'm not sure I know how to do that on the phone. And before I could even say, could you help me? She said, I'm sure there's a YouTube that you can find that will show you exactly how to do it. So she kind of cut off the nibble. I was going to ask her to do it for me. That was the next thing. Could you just do this for me and send it? No, she caught it right away. Why? Because we have a good partnership, and we know each other well, and we love each other enough to say no. Some of us have difficulty saying no because we don't trust the other person's response to us when we say no. And so we let the boundaries become wishy-washy. It's like, well, what am I going to do? My daughter has been doing this for a long time. What am I going to do? The kids just leave their stuff out. And we can kind of get into that if you have some specific questions, but where I want to come is back to you in terms of setting and establishing good boundaries. Robert Frost wrote that beautiful poem about fences make for good neighbors. Boundaries make for good neighbors. Whether it's your partner, your parents, your kids, your coworkers, your neighbors, anywhere in the system along the way, in order to prevent the Nibble Theory from happening, in order to prevent the kind of slicing of the cheese and creating some really smelly situations, it's important that you be clear about where are your boundaries, where are the edges, and have you articulated them? Have you talked to them? And then what are the consequences for the violation? So rather than what I used to do for my office mate, kind of clean everything up, I sometimes would leave notes with arrows pointing and mention that this is not only unpleasant for me, but the clients wonder, is this how I am? And so I explained to them that this was here, and that hopefully when you come back, it will get clean and we won't have to have this anymore. And they sent me a little thank you note in response. Said thank you. It was late. I left in a hurry. Well, that was maybe for that time, but what about the continued ongoing? Anyway, that was very nice, and it never happened again. So sometimes you can just say things. It doesn't have to be World War III. You can just say, this is a boundary for me. And I'm not tolerating it. No, you can't have that little slice of cheese. That goes into my grilled cheese sandwich in about a half hour. So if you want some, I'll get you some. Or if you ask, I might even slice some from my own block of cheese just for you. But let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. I hope this is helpful. A little idea, just kind of ways in which our boundaries, our fences, our borders need to be clear. this is where it is. This is what I can tolerate. This is what makes me comfortable. And it makes for a good relationship. Because I love you, I'm not going to do it for you. So on this one, because I love you and I want to stay in touch with you, I'm going to invite you, please subscribe. If you like the video, hit that little like button. And any comments or thoughts that you have, argue with me. Say, I don't believe this, just whatever. Please feel free to comment below. I love reading what you say and engaging with you. And we'll just kind of build our community here of people who are looking for maybe a little different way of being in the world and being with each other, where it's not always a war, where we can find room to be with one another on this tiny little planet for the very few years that all of us are here. Let's just walk each other home rather than sending each other on the express train. Say, when I reincarnate, this is just an aside, if and when I reincarnate, I want to go to a planet where at least they've progressed past killing each other. What a stupid waste of time, money, resources, and life. We're only going to be here for 100 years. What difference does maybe on a good run at life? We're not in the United States is not in the blue zone, so we don't have. Chances are probably very few of us. Although going to see a friend that's celebrating his 103rd birthday this year. Actually, it's this month. So we'll wish him a Case is his name. Wishing him a wonderful happy birthday. So love to all of you. If your birthday's this month, happy birthday. Let's enjoy life. Let's have a good time. That's what those boundaries help us do. Namaste. Thank you.